Hello and welcome to another episode of PJ Talks. I'm here today with Emma-Louise Gregory, who is the UK Sales Director for UNOde50. Hi Emma, thank you so much for joining me today.
No problem at all, I'm honoured to be here.
So nice to see you. So you are probably known in the industry as one of the most positive people. I think you would agree with that. I just wondered what you've been up to during lockdown just to keep yourself focused and energised.
Yeah, I mean, I think with regards to me, I'm the type of character that I always try and look for a positive and a negative situation. And it's the way that I'm quite conditioned to be. So I think I try and spread love and positivity wherever I go, because I think a lot of people need it this day and age. But, you know, I'll be honest, initially I found lockdown really, really difficult. As you know, I'm a people person, and my favourite part of my job is visiting my retailers. And like some of my retailers I view as like my extended family, because we've got such a fabulous relationship and we just love to talk and catch up. And so not having that element has been a massive shock for me. So I was like, very quickly kind of got quite bored, and I was like, oh, what can I do? And I know it sounds crazy, but I missed the simple things, just like presenting jewellery. So I thought to myself, I know I'm going to just showcase my favourite UNOde50 pieces. And one of the key selling points that I always say to people is it comes to life when you wear it. And people always think I'm mad when I say that. So I thought I'm going to show people. So I started off just showcasing my top 5 favourite UNOde50 necklaces and posted it on my social media. And with my socials, I am an open book. I am connected to retailers, to other suppliers, just lots of different people. And I'm very much brand proud. So I decided to upload it onto Instagram, and I was really surprised because, you know, my retailers started reaching out saying, oh my God, I love that video. Can we share it on our platform? Because we've got those pieces in stock. And then I got another message saying, oh my God, are you going to do any more? This is amazing. So I then did another one, which was like my top 5 favourite bracelets. And then again, I'll be honest with you, as isolation progressed, the press got a lot more negative, the news, social media channels, and it was quite overwhelming to see so much negativity. So I was on Facebook one day and I had this little notification from my best friend Hannah, who runs an events company in Dubai. And she invited me to an online wedding summit. And I just thought, right, I don't have a clue what it is. I'm going to go along, she's my best friend, just to be nosy. And literally, within 5 minutes, I was hooked. And I came away just feeling really motivated and inspired. And afterwards, I kind of sat there thinking about it. And I was like, oh, it'd be so good if someone in the industry could do this, in the jewellery industry. And I thought, why don't I do it? So I actually then picked up the phone and I rang Victoria McKay from Women's Jewellery Network, and I said, hi Victoria, sorry to bother you in isolation, but I want to pick your brain. So I kind of then told her about my idea, and she loved it, and she said, you know, there's so much negativity out there, this is just what the industry needs. So that's what I did. I organised an online summit.
Amazing. And what was the theme of the summit? Because it was slightly different to anything else that was out there. And also, what was the reaction from jewelers about what you were doing? It was called the Fashion Summit, wasn't it?
Yes. So the biggest obstacle for me was coming up with a name. So I was like, all right, do I call it the online summit? Do I call it the online jewelry summit? And then the reason I came up with Fashion Summit is because, you know, me personally, I deal with lots of different types of retailers. I deal with jewelers, department stores, concept stores, jewelry, fashion stores. So I thought, I'm going to open this up to an array of different retailers. So I called it the Online Fashion Summit. Amazing. And then I thought, actually, I'm going to extend this even further. I'm going to invite all the suppliers, all the industry professionals, because I think everybody needs some motivation. So the reason that I decided to do this and to do something a little bit different was I wanted to inspire people, to get people thinking differently, to get people motivated, and to kind of take that element of worry and concern away. Mm-hmm. So I don't ask me how I did it. I managed to put it together within only 1 week. And
Wow.
I literally did my research online, and I found some incredible people from all over the world. So, for example, there was Pete Cohen from the UK, who's like kind of a business coach, personal development coach. And he came in and delivered a motivational speech about thinking a little bit differently. And then I had Kelly Lumberg, who's a celebrity stylist based in Dubai. And the reason I went for Kelly is she is just incredible at showcasing like products and services via her social channels. She's very articulate, she's very clever with how she does it. And again, social media, for a lot of retailers, they go, oh, like, you know, they get frightened by that one word. So that's why I brought her on board. And then we had Camelia Britton, who is like the queen of Instagram, based in California, and she was amazing. And then obviously we had my friend Hannah Matthews from Couture Events to talk about virtual events, and also how you can start bringing footfall back into stores when the pandemic is over. So that was basically the gist of what I did. And I really didn't anticipate what would happen. I also had a chat on there to tell people what I was doing. And I kind of wanted people to use this time to focus on their business. So it's looking at what elements of a business are not strong. So it could be social media presence, it could be online, it could be having way too many products in your store and not knowing what sells and what doesn't. So I kind of wanted to inspire people to really think. And I just wanted to help as many people as possible. And quite honestly, I was overwhelmed to the point where I was in tears, because for weeks afterwards I was getting messages, people were sharing my posts all over LinkedIn, social media. I had you know, Jude Williams from Nomination, she had invited loads of her retailers to it. I was overwhelmed by the amount of love and positivity I got back from that. So I felt like, you know, what I set out to do came, you know, happened exactly how I anticipated it to. So
that's so good.
yeah,
it's amazing. And you know, people wouldn't have expected any less from you during lockdown, to still be supporting your retail partners. But amazing, now they're back in the stores. How will UNOde50 be supporting new clients and existing clients as they kind of get back to a rhythm on the high street?
Yeah, I mean, you know, the most important thing for me, and I always say this in like my whole career, is support. Like, I know, you know, from a supplier perspective, I love to have support from my retailers, you know, when it comes to pushing the brand and for them to believe in me and believe in the product. So I like to give that back. So the most important thing for me is support. And I think with this situation that I need to establish, which retailers stay proactive through social media, through online, continue to sell. So I've already connected with those retailers that are back open, and I'm proud to say they had a really great sell-through with Uno. So I am, at the moment, my focus for those stores is to actually make sure that they're topped up back in the bestsellers, because the bestsellers generate the highest percentage of turnover. So if you sell it once, you need to get it in quickly to sell it again and again and again. So that's what I'm doing with those retailers. But then I've also got to put my other hat on, and I've got those retailers that completely shut down, had, you know, very little social media, no online presence, and no store. So with these particular retailers, I know, you know, if I was in their shoes, my concern would be seasonal stock. So again, case by case basis, if I have a retailer that sat on way too much seasonal stock and not enough core, I'm not going to let them sit there and panic. So it's all about working with them to make sure they have the right stock in store to start picking the sales up. And then also along with that goes, you know, providing them with social media images and whatnot. So it's just being understanding and supportive. And, you know, I'm going to be honest, if people are panicking about bills and things like that, I think the best way to be with any retailer is honest. Yeah. So I think you just have to be, you know, bite the bullet, be honest and say, look, I owe you this amount of money. At the moment, I can't afford to pay you straight away. So can we do it in stages? So I think it's very much adapting to the needs of all of my retailers, really.
And with all the kind of government guidelines, will that provide any challenges for you in terms of getting out there and doing what you usually do? And, you know, what does the kind of next few weeks look like for you?
Well, quite interesting. So obviously straight away, I've been tuning into the CMJ, the networking meetings once a week, which have been absolutely amazing, I might add. The great thing about these meetings is that they actually were a split of retailers and suppliers. So we could hear things from retailers' perspectives as well as other suppliers. So it's been really, really informative for me, and it's really interesting to hear what retailers are saying they want from suppliers. So that being said, I've had the beautiful Indonesia collection arrive at my house, and normally I'd be putting it in my sample case and getting ready to go and see everyone really excited. So obviously I had to bear that in mind, that isn't possible at the moment. So I thought to myself, do I hold back from sending any information out? And I thought, no, people want something exciting to see. So what I actually did, I created an online video with a private link to a YouTube, and a very short introductory video where I literally tried on all of the collection, shared price points, spoke about the inspiration, and I sent that to every single stockist yesterday. And I'm not even joking, my email was still going off at 10 p.m. last night from retailers, thanking me for such an informative video, and that they loved the collections, and also wanting to book appointments. So I've got a couple of virtual appointments in the diary, but interestingly, I've also got 2 physical appointments booked in for next week.
Oh,
so I was really shocked by that, because you don't know what people are going to say. So, you know, I've been sent a full PPE kit from my head office. So I've got obviously masks, I've got the protection, I've got gloves, I've got hand sanitizer, I've got product sanitizer. So, you know, I'm going to just clean everything up, and then just stay within the parameter, and just let, you know, the retailers basically pick and choose while I sit there with my iPad. So, you know, it's going to be interesting, and obviously I'll know more once I'm thrown into it. But I think, you know, on the back of this, I think one other thing that this is going to make people better at is communicating virtually. So, you know, it is, when you first start doing it, it's nerve-wracking, like you are in the spotlight and it's horrible, but you are only human and you are going to make mistakes, and people can relate to that. So I think because we're all in this together, everyone's very open-minded and very positive. So I think, yes, the face-to-face role is going to change, but it's all going to, you know, adapt as and when the times adapt as well. So yeah, I'm quite excited about it, really, which is really strange.
Yeah, I bet you can't wait to get out and see people.
Yeah, I'm going to be
so nice,
like a kid in a shop. They'll be like, calm down, Emma-Louise. So yeah.
Amazing. And obviously, just from someone who's pretty connected with the industry, what do you think is going to be kind of the key to survival for retailers as they trade in this new kind of normal?
So one thing that I've done to really utilize my time, because I had so much of it, was I attended lots of webinars, and these webinars were from retailer perspectives, from supplier perspectives, from the US, different parts of the world, just to kind of find out what was happening in the countries that had reopened, and again just come up with ideas. And some of the things that I took from that was 2 important elements, and that is, number one is experience, which I'll go into a bit more about that in a second, but most importantly is confidence. So when I say that, the one thing that consumers are going to want the most from their local retailer is the confidence of knowing that it's safe to shop with them. Yeah. So when I say this, I want to use an example actually that popped up on my Facebook yesterday. So Stefan's shared a video yesterday, and it had Wes, and he literally, it was fantastic. It was very beautifully done. Wes talked the consumer around the store, explained all of the safety processes in place, how it would work, and it was really informative. So I always try and put myself into a consumer's shoes. And a consumer, they want to shop locally because they love their local retailer. So this kind of definitely gives you that confidence to want to go back in there, because you can see everything that's been put in place. So I think that's really important.
Yeah.
But what I also think is important, I mean, we've had 12 weeks of isolation. Consumers have formed brand new habits, and that one of those habits is going to be buying online. So, naturally people are buying their food online. They like the convenience. And again, some people have bought, luxuries online as well.
Yeah.
So one thing that I do feel strongly about is yes, retailers are excited about opening their physical store, but if they are still missing that virtual side of their business, they're gonna lose out, because there's going to be a high percentage of consumers, even though the stores are reopened, they're not going to feel comfortable. Even with security measures in place, they're not going to feel comfortable about shopping with that retailer, but they still love and trust that retailer. So it doesn't have to be a massively expensive website. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. It's just connecting via socials, offering a local drop-off service to those customers that still don't feel comfortable, and it's just staying connected. But I think those businesses that have managed to have a physical and a virtual presence together, they're the ones that are going to really thrive and stay proactive. So that's another thing. And then that also then goes on to experience. So it's like, this is changed. How on earth are we meant to create an experience for a consumer when we can't have the normal hands-on approach?
Yeah.
So that's going to be the biggest question. So there's, again, listening to seminars, and obviously it very much varies on store and how many how many consumers want to shop there. But do you know, like when you go to Disneyland and you're queuing to go on a ride and you're really excited and it's a long queue and you're like, oh, so, what they do at Disneyland is they put, screens up with a little bit of entertainment or something to entertain you while you're waiting.
Yeah.
So, it's a little bit like thinking about outside the box. You could put, a little screen up, explaining what will happen when you go into store, so people know when they've got something to look at. It could even be a screen that showcases some of the new products that you've got in store to keep people wanting to go in there and spend. But also, it could be gift with purchases. You spend X amount, you get this. But you can also create this experience online. So I'm going to use a personal experience with you to show you this. So I bought from a local a boutique some clothes, and when I got my package arrived all beautifully wrapped, there was a little message on the invoice that said, "Becky wrapped this parcel whilst dancing to Backstreet Boys." And it just made me laugh so much. And I just thought, the tiniest little thing, a little personal touch. So it could be a little thank you message. It could be a little positive quote. It could be just something to make your consumer go, "Oh my God, this is amazing. I love it. I'm going to buy with them again." So, even though you can't do the physical side that you normally would, you could definitely think outside the box. And again, this is your prime opportunity to do that. And, on top of that, sorry to go on, but
no, it's great.
That, there is so many, free platforms out there for businesses. So like I've mentioned before, Facebook have launched Facebook shops. So what this actually does is it gives a retailer the opportunity to sell very simply via Facebook. So if you've already got a business on Facebook, this is your time now to grow your following and to promote the products and services you sell. And again, it goes back to the importance of retailers talking to suppliers. It's been really quiet. Can we have a free piece of jewelry to run a competition? Can you provide us with a video of new collections? Just ask. And I think, again, it goes back to that honesty and asking questions. So yeah,
no, that's great. There's so many good ideas, and I think that'll be really helpful, especially as people have now opened the doors, they're kind of getting back on their feet. I definitely think those things will help. So that's really great. And just lastly, I just wanted to ask about you guys as a brand and what your plans are for the second half of the year.
So for me, our plans haven't changed. So, you know, I'll be honest, at the moment, we are working with skeleton staff, you know, in the UK, because we have to kind of work out the demand for the brand and see where it's at. So obviously I'm back in the business, and it's quite easy to cover a larger area when you're working more virtually.
Yeah.
So for us, as a brand, the main goal for the year, at the start of the year, which hasn't changed, is to make sure that we support our existing retailers and help them to grow. And on the back of that, if we have a retailer that we work with in one store and they've got 5 stores, you know, the plan was to eventually roll out into the other stores.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a mix of growth with existing. It's a mix of very important to be understanding and to support our retailers. But the main thing for us, we are still growing. We are more of a quality over a quantity type of brand. So we want to work with the right retailer. And when I say that, I mean a retailer that loves the brand, can see the appeal in it, can see the fact that it's unique, it's different, and it's going to open up a new audience. You know, that for us is really important. And, you know, what's really, really positive is last week I was back to work. We opened with a new retailer. This week we've opened with another new retailer, and yesterday I got another message from an existing retailer who's opened another store that wants to put UNO in there. So what this tells you is, despite all of the uncertainty, there is still a lot of positivity in the industry, and retailers, I think they're going to be more clever and strategic with their buying. So what they're going to look for now in a brand, they're going to look for a brand that's going to draw people to their store, who's going to bring people in. And, you know, and this is where I'm very grateful, because I work for a brand that kind of doesn't sit and look similar to other brands. We have our own identity. And I think that's where I feel very confident and strong, is that, you know, a lot of retailers still want to get involved with UNO and love it, because it is really strong and it's unique. So that is like instilled me with lots of positivity, because obviously before the stores reopened, you hear so much and you're like, oh my God, what's going to happen? Are people still going to want to buy new brands? So this tells me that, you know, there are still people that have somehow, you know, kept a reserve for new brands that they had in mind, and they still want to go for that. And what I think is really interesting, my new store, Ruba Rocks, that opened last week, kind of his mindset is, I want to reopen my store and launch with a brand new brand, to like say, hey, we're back, look what we've got. And I really loved that approach. It's for me, the most important is, it's easier said than done, is to stay kind of optimistic and positive and keep your focus on your goals. So, and I think, you know, despite everything that's happened with the pandemic, you know, people are open-minded and people are still wanting to buy. So I just think you just got to be really clever and just stay focused on what you want to accomplish. And you know, that's the plan for UNO, is like, you know, we're still growing. We had a fantastic year last year. We had actually an amazing first quarter.
Wow. That's really good.
Our goal now is to kind of try and you know, recoup this and keep it going. But most importantly, it's you know, we love our retailers, and it's just knowing that they feel supported and we're, you know, we're aligned and we both want the same things. So
that's really great. That's fantastic. It's really encouraging to hear as well. It's encouraging to hear positive stories during these times, and amazing that you're getting new stock here. So that's really great. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me. I know you must be really busy right now and gearing to get back on the shop floor. But yeah, it's been great to talk to you, and I wish you all the best as you start getting out there and meeting people again.
Thank you so much. And again, you know, thank you for asking me to come on. I've loved it.